And so it's amazing. They got married. My dad was a drug dealer. My mom was a very good Catholic lady, and like they became hippies together. And so my mom always had this like, it's amazing. You can do a lot of bad stuff, but your core still like doesn't get rid of your like spiritual identity. Oftentimes we think if people do bad things, they don't think about God, but that's hardly the truth.
Welcome back to Ministry Reimagined. I loved this episode because it has one of the best stories that I've heard. Growing up in a drug, atheistic family into becoming baptized into the Adventist church. I loved hearing Chap Gibbs' story, and I think more people should hear it too, so stay tuned. How you doing, Chap Gibbs? You doing good?
I'm good. I got up early this morning, and I'm just feeling good.
Do you always? He told me he woke up or you were there at 5:30.
Yeah, the game starts 5:30. So I do it Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow.
And then Sundays we sleep in. It's at 8:30.
Ah, so late on a Sunday. Yeah. Wow.
Well, I do it because I have two kids. They're 2 and 5, and I can get my exercise in before they wake up.
Wow.
So it really fits.
Wow.
I mean, some students get up at 5:30.
Yeah.
There's some.
Some do.
And some are sleeping.
Dang, you make me sound like I'm not on my grind,
but there's
so much
there's
more.
different types of people, right? There's like the morning people who are productive in the morning, and then there's the evening people, and then there's people like me who get up early and go to bed late.
So
and
both.
That's not recommended.
So you always wake up early, or just the Tuesday, Thursdays?
Well, this is why I say, God, if you want me to play basketball, you'll wake me up, so I don't set my alarm. So today I woke up at 4:30.
Wow.
I went to bed at midnight.
So that's like no sleep, though.
I know, but I can't help that.
Okay.
Because I woke up naturally. Like, I would sleep in if I could. So it's not like...
So you've tried going back to sleep and it just doesn't work?
Well, I can, but I'm up. I'll play basketball. It doesn't make sense, but it makes me happy.
Hey, and I think that's the only thing that matters. I think as long as, you're doing what makes you happy in a good way, I think that's great.
I think over a couple, like a season, then I'll crash and I'll sleep or get sick, but I haven't been sick like in a year or so.
Wow.
So
that's good. Do you have any secrets?
I don't know. I think
maybe it's the exercise at 5 a.m.
Exercise is good. I have a good family. I don't eat out often.
Okay.
And typically when I eat out, I don't eat healthy. So
you don't eat healthy when you're out?
Basically, I mean.
What's your favorite?
Like if I was stuck on an island with one restaurant, it'd be Thai food.
Okay.
But I mean, Thai's pretty healthy, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would say.
And then if there's like a second island, Indian. Those are my probably two faves.
That's good. You learn something new every day.
What about you? If you're stuck on an island, you only had one restaurant? Mickey D's.
Freshman year me would say that. But now I would say, it's not like it's bad, but I would say Taco Bell. I love that.
Taco Bell's all right. I mean, that's the Fast and the Furious. It's good.
To me, I could be wrong, but to me, that's healthy.
It's a healthier option, right? But it depends on what you get.
No, it's true.
Like,
it's
true. Like you can get vegan options that are pretty bad for you.
This is true. I do have a question looking more at ministry side.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, eating can be ministry, but...
Hey, absolutely. Hey, that's like the best form of ministry sometimes with food. Learning more about you. What is something that most people, when they think about you, what do they think of?
So, like, right now, I heard my brother's on campus. He's a PhD student.
Okay.
And so he taught undergrad or whatever. And so whenever, like, someone refers to his brother, which would be me, he's the chaplain that draws.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, like, I think people see me as I like to draw, right? I like to. So that would be people that see me in ministry. Like, I used to pastor at an academy church. I used to use art in my sermons, and I think that's how people probably recognize my ministry is there's a lot of overlap with art.
Yeah. Can I ask what started that?
Yeah, so my dad he's very artistic. Excuse me. He's very artistic. So at a young age, I don't remember when, I just remember watching him draw and I'm like, I want to draw.
Wow.
And he used to be a biker, like biker gang kind of person, right?
Okay.
And so he was an outlaw. He was a Harley Davidson rider. He was a drug dealer, but he loved like motorcycle art. And so some of the motorcycle art that he would use, probably someone that you don't even know, Frank Frazetta. It's kind of like fantasy art, dragons, that kind of like scantily clad women in arm. That's just that was the
Yeah.
80s fantasy art. And so he would draw dragons, and then I was obsessed with drawing dragons and volcanoes at an early age. Yeah,
Wow.
volcanoes blowing up. Because a volcano that doesn't blow up is just a mountain. You couldn't tell. But a volcano with lava, that was it. So when I was I went to church with my mom early on. My parents got divorced, and I would just draw dragons in church.
Wow.
And I didn't know the Bible talked about dragons when I was but he does talk about dragons, right? So I just drawing, loved it. And so I was one of those art kids in school. I went to public school, and I took every art class I could.
Wow.
So I just in my mind, I wanted to be an illustrator. I wanted to draw from my imagination, and that was my identity. I went to a big high school, and I won the award, or they elected that I won best artist in class, which I was happy about.
Yeah.
And then at 19, God took over. I had a conversion experience, and then I kind of shifted my focus going towards ministry.
How did you choose to combine the two? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
so-
it can be like either one or the other, but combining them.
So like early on through high school, I would do a lot of drug-induced art. And so I think God kind of like put a gentle conviction in me to lay art down for a while. I didn't even think about it. I was just so in love with sharing Jesus that I drew a little bit, but like I used to draw a lot of like drug paraphernalia, and I was absorbed by drugs.
Wow.
And so I kind of detox. And then I did Bible work for a while, and over time when I was giving Bible studies, I would like rather than trying to describe with words what was going on, like the Daniel 2 image, the gold head, I would just draw it really quick in front of people, and people are like, wow. And so it would like bring more energy to the study, and then I could like kind of illustrate it, and the visual people were really like connecting with the study where they didn't connect before. Because typically when you create something in front of somebody, it has some sort of a gravity that pulls people in. And so I discovered that I have a knack for and a talent for that I can illustrate in a live segment, and it can bring a little bit more energy to where people maybe never experienced energy in that kind of discussion before. So at 19, 20, I was dabbling with that a little bit. And then I got into preaching as a pastor in 2011, and I like trying to fit me into the box of a traditional pastor was a constraining. I also knew that like if I wasn't preaching, I'd be bored in church. Because my mind is very like imaginative and wanders. So if I wasn't, I started doing notes, like visual notes, and that really helps me focus.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important to allow creative spaces in church. Maybe we can talk about this more later. But I remember one time, I think it was in Oregon, I was drawing in church, and this good old, faithful lady came up to me and says, "Oh, I see you weren't paying attention in church." And then in my smart aleck, youngness, I said, "Oh, could you tell me what the sermon was about?" Guess what? She had no clue.
Wow.
But she was watching me not pay attention. Then I went through my mind map, and I shared with her what the sermon was about. And the look on her face was priceless.
Wow.
And so, was that nice, what I did? Maybe, I don't know. But I felt justified, right?
Yeah.
And so I realized, like, that moment was a memory I remember is like, this I need to do
Yeah.
in order to stay focused. But if I can, like, I started preaching, and then I didn't draw too much. I had fun with PowerPoint, but PowerPoint's kind of like, there's only so much you can do with it. And so I developed, like, I started drawing my sermons out, like my manuscript. I used to draw my manuscript out, but then I just started drawing it so I could hand it out. So I drew it out so I could hand it out. So people could travel through my sermon through a mind map, different illustrations and cartoons or whatever. And then over time, when I was at Great Lakes Adventist Academy, I kind of developed using the iPad with Procreate, which is a sweet app. Have you ever used Procreate?
No.
It's great. It's basically a digital sketchboard. And so I'd draw my whole thing, and then I'd put a white layer over it. Then I'd erase it. You ever see the Bible Project?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's like a cheap version of one,
Yeah.
And so then I'm erasing it. And some people are deceived, thinking I'm drawing it live. We just let that go. We just let them
You don't
think I'm
address
great.
it.
But I'm not that great. And so we just let them think that. But then when they find out, I always tell them I'm just erasing with finesse. That's
Yeah.
all I'm doing. I do draw all this stuff. And so then and it's fun because when I'm in it, in the middle of the sermon, I'm like, well, let's do Pictionary. So I just erase a little bit, and they're trying to get, so it gets everyone's attention, right?
Yeah.
And then I make the point, go on to the next part, and then you just flow through the sermon. And I have a bunch of these that I've done. And a couple weeks ago, it was at a function here at Andrews. They asked me to draw live. I've never drawn live for a presentation before. And so I drew this picture, and then I drew it again, because it was nerve-wracking. Like I said, I thought if I was good at singing, but I never sang in front of people, the nervousness I would feel is like drawing live in front of people, like a quick drawing that you want to make it accurate. So I did that, and people were blessed by it. I don't know if you saw it at all at A United. It was Afterglow. Anyways,
Wow.
and so I drew a boy admiring his father's armor that was on a rack. And I did that in 5 minutes, and I can explain what it was. And people were, because when you create something, it draws you in. And so I find that we emphasize the music art in church. You got violin or guitar or or whatever style of music, it's always emphasized in church. Even in our Adventist system, our elementary schools, when they have to cut budgets, art goes first, but music they try to stay because music benefits the local experience more than art does. And so a lot of our art students or people good at art, they don't find a place in Adventism very well. But I would love to emphasize more of the artistic creativity in church.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So how did it just formed? It formed. I laid it down at 19 for a little bit, my art. Then slowly I picked it up and used it as a tool to teach, used it as a tool to stay focused. And then as I was writing sermons and manuscripts, rather than writing words, words are so overrated. You know what I'm saying? They say that, what's that saying? A picture's worth 10,000 words? Pictures are way better. And I married an English teacher, so we would fight. We would fight about this, right? And so, but yeah, so I'm like a pastor that needs to communicate by words, but I like using pictures.
Wow.
So
Interesting. For someone that hates words, you read a lot of books.
I do read a lot. I never read a whole book until I became a Christian at 19.
Wow.
You can, if you're creative and you know how to navigate conversations, it's very easy to cheat.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because you just ask the people what the book was about, or especially now with AI, you just haven't summarized the book. I mean, I'm so happy I never was tempted with that because
True.
I just didn't I just never got reading. But when Jesus found me, or I guess he always knew where I was, right? When I was allowed to let Jesus in my life, when I allowed him to be active in my life, he gave me a love for reading, which I never had before.
Wow.
And so that's why I started reading, and as you do something more and more, you just get better at it. So that's what's
True.
That's what's happening.
So
I do read a lot, but then again, I have to read in order to stay relevant. Because typically, thought leaders who don't read widely always harp on their hobby horses, and they dry up after a while.
Wow. Interesting. Wow. There's a lot that you said there. But first, I want to go into, because you said, like you've mentioned a little bit, you've been kind of soft launching it. But now I want to dive deeper in it. When you said you had a conversion experience, you said you didn't grow up in the church, really?
No, my mom was Catholic. My dad was kind of nothing, right? His dad died when he was 14. His mom died when I was born, and so he always blamed God for like all the bad. So he wasn't like, I don't know if he would consider himself agnostic or atheist, but he just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like he was just, it didn't even enter his mind about God. My mom was very devout, and so it's amazing. They got married. My dad was a drug dealer. My mom was a very good Catholic lady, and like they became hippies together. And so my mom always had this like, it's amazing. You can do a lot of bad stuff, but your core still like doesn't get rid of your like spiritual identity. Oftentimes we think if people do bad things, they don't think about God, but that's hardly the truth. And so but then my dad's drug habits got out of control. They got divorced, and so my mom and dad kind of stayed friends. My dad felt like he was controlled by drugs. He always loved my mom. It's kind of a weird story. So they were able to occupy the same space without having like at least like blow-ups, right? And so then when my mom's taken over the family, Dad's comes in and helps out sometimes. In '96, something tragic happened. My mom and I were in a car accident. I was in a coma for a week. My mom was in a coma for 6 months. Woke up in the hospital. I woke up kind of like, why did God allow this to happen? Became an agnostic. My older brother, I have only one other brother, he becomes an atheist. My dad takes over the family now, so his habits become our habits. So we got into the drugs early on. I think my first drug experience was at 14, which I don't know if that's early today or not. I think kids get into it whenever, but it seemed to be that was like the early age when people got into drugs back in my decade.
Yeah.
And so but with this, my mom shared love with me. I was a rotten kid, but my mom, I knew she loved me. And like when her love was gone, she was in a coma. Like it was like this love piece fell out of my heart. And around 13 is when we can start understanding abstract love, and we can start like having God fill that space. But I was just like lost without love, trying to find purpose and belonging in a world. And so I went to all the normal things, but I kind of went in a different style, like media, sports, entertainment. I was trying to find like something that would satisfy for this eternal interest that only love can give you, God's love. And I think he pours that love through parents, and they give it to you, and you feel satisfied. But then eventually you mature into the thinking, I need something more than parents' love. That was my experience. So like movies, video games, got into the drug world, got into the relationships, all that, just trying to find satisfaction. And drugs was like, you can have a spiritual community in drugs. You have rituals, you have your traditions, you have your community, you have you have a lot of the same elements that Christian community brings. Some of the downfalls of withdrawals and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so so that was just drifting through life that way. And art really helped me, with all the trauma. Art kind of was like my therapist. When things were really tough, I would get lost in the world of my thoughts with art, and it wasn't an unhealthy place. Then my dad gets in a motorcycle accident, and he pulls out of his workplace, goes about 50 miles, 60 miles per hour, and a city bus pulls out in front of him without looking.
Wow.
And he smashed in the side of it, and he got physically handicapped. Wow. And so now I have two handicapped parents. They got remarried.
Okay.
Because the only one that was taking care of my mom was my dad. And my mom's memory got erased from all the bad years of the marriage.
Wow.
So she woke up from the coma thinking she was still married. So my dad had to kind of like tell the story, but he showed his commitment, even though he kind of, broke it, I guess you could say, through his habits of drugs and adultery. But he kind of sobered up, and he said, I'm going to dedicate my life to my ex-wife. And they got remarried.
Wow.
Which was really, in my brother's eyes, the first evidence of gospel love. You may say, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So gospel love is when you can love somebody without getting anything in return. So my dad was able to, he was essentially a hedonist, a pleasure seeker. To remarry mom would mean she's physically and mentally handicapped for life. The marriage functions like what married couples do, that you can't have that same intimate experience. But he was willing to lay that down and to love his wife. And so when my brother understood that was like something happened. Like there's something beautiful about love. That was like the first step for him to understand God's love, even though it was like very that gospel seed was wrapped up into very weird wrapping paper. He would have never at that moment said, "Oh, this is gospel love," but God planted a seed. And then when like Nate recognizes that, so what was it, a year later after the marriage, my dad gets in an accident, and then someone knocks on my brother's door, out of the blue, invites him to an evangelistic series.
Wow.
Now my brother used to drive a hearse for fun. Dead people car. It was very fun driving in one when you're not dead.
Oh.
So you wear sweatpants. And you sit in the back, Indian style. Because it's all wood, because that's where the casket goes.
No, what is it? Oh.
It's a casket car.
Okay.
It's where the dead people go.
Oh.
It's how you bring dead people to the grave.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, a hearse?
No, but...
You never seen a hearse?
I guess I didn't know what it was called.
Okay, so yeah, so it's like a big station wagon.
Okay.
And it has the funny, thing on the side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Now you're with me.
Yes.
Okay. And so you sit in the back seat when your brother's driving, and he accelerates, and then you slide back. And then and he slams on the brakes, you slide forward. And there's curtains on the window. And so when you're stopped at a red light, you open the curtains and smile at people.
You're describing it like, when you do, as if everybody's done this.
Well, they should. I mean, you really haven't grown up until you drive a hearse.
Okay.
Anyways, so this is kind of the stuff we would do. We would do all sorts of stupid stuff.
Okay.
And the hearse is in the front yard, right? For driveway, right? And so like you're a young person, and you're trying to share the love of Jesus, and you go to this house, and it doesn't look the best, and there's a hearse in the driveway. You just don't know what's inside.
Yeah.
My brother was a kind of a punk rocker, 90s, early 2000s, baggy clothes look, just looks like, like a multicolored Shrek. Like hair, just funny looking. And I'm just saying from the standpoint of like a good Christian person, like this is like, whoa, this is wild. And so he answers the door, he's like, what do you want? And then he eventually gets the flyer, he slams the door. But long story short, the guy comes back to the house, my brother's sitting in the porch because he had like a God moment, and he goes to the evangelistic meeting, and there he starts to sense the beautiful things about Jesus. And stuff that he's never heard before, because we kind of grew up in kind of this, we weren't solid in the church. We just knew the basics. But some of his big atheistic questions, if God is so good, why is there suffering? And more, there's just more stuff that this seminar gave that answered my brother's questions. He becomes an Adventist by the grace of God and the love of Jesus. He accepts Jesus, and he's Christian through and through, believes that Jesus is coming again. He starts sharing with my parents. A year later, both my parents get baptized.
Wow.
Then a year later, the stubborn youngest child gets baptized in 2002. And then like the deal that I made with God, I was at a party and I said, God, if you can help me with my drug problem, because I was on multiple substances that evening, but like basically whatever drug was coming my way, I was so depressed, I would take. And my friends were doing heroin. God pulled me out before that.
Wow.
And so I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And I said, God, if you can help me, I'll follow you. And I think God's like, deal. We can make this happen. And the thing is, he got rid of my drug habits, my desires, and withdrawals.
Wow.
I had no craving or hankering. I was like just completely gone. Like everything is stripped out of me. Vacuum, it's gone.
Wow.
And not all my problems, however. I still have a couple. But
Wow.
but God gets rid of the major roadblock. That was like for me to come to God like that. That was a major roadblock. He gets rid of it. That's what he does. God gets rid of the roadblocks. Sometimes he bashes them down. You have to go through it's hard to walk it over, but it's possible. Like he gets rid of them. And I just had a strong desire is I want to share Jesus. I want to share our story. How he took a family that was broken in many ways and he healed, he brought together, and so someone came to our door, so I did a lot of door-to-door work, which is very exciting, because you just never know what's going to be on the other side of the door. It could be a nice person, it could be a mean person, it could be a dog that wants to bite you. It's so exciting.
Sure.
And so I had some really, really wonderful and powerful experiences doing some door-to-door work.
Wow.
And some people say it doesn't work anymore. God reaches people all sorts of different ways. And I don't think there might be more effective ways, but if someone wants to reach out, God's going to bless that way, right?
Yeah.
If it's a podcast, God will use a podcast.
I hope so.
And so, that's a nutshell version of our story.
Wow.
Of how God grabbed the Gibbs family in Grand Rapids.
Wow.
I went the G theme there.
The G theme.
Yep.
GG.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
good. Wow, that's incredible. I'm curious though, because you said your mom was like a diehard Catholic, right?
Diehard. She was a faithful Catholic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is wild. Early on, there was some controversy with some of the leaders in the Catholic organization, where some of their issues were being exposed to the world, like 90s time, or maybe late 80s. And so she's like, we're gonna go church shopping. She went to different churches to try to find. But the beautiful thing about Catholicism, the sanctuary has this like sanctified feeling, like reverence. And so I don't think she really ever experienced that in any other church. And I remember my brother said, hey, what about this church? The Adventist church. She said, those people are strict. And so she didn't want to go to those people, right? And a little bit later, she gets in this car accident, which like set in motion the events so that my brother would be ripe to experience the full Jesus.
Wow.
And when you to kind of go back to my mom's comment, supposedly she said those people are strict. When you follow Jesus's love, it's a beautiful journey. It's very different. When you talk about like Sabbath and when it's a day that you can stop and focus on Jesus, it's the best.
Yeah.
Now, do I always do the best job at making that time? No, but when that happens, it's awesome. And so working on our love connection to God is the best. That's the best, right? So if she was ripe to accepting more of that love, I think she might have been open then, but she wasn't open. So God allowed bad things to take place. Did he cause it? I can't go there.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say allowed it.
Yeah.
I would say more of they just happened, but he used it.
That's right. So that's the best thing to just you use it. Now, would I be okay to say that he caused it? Because he knew in the end my life would be better? From my standpoint, I'm not talking about anyone else's circumstances because that's not. But I'd be okay with all all the trauma that I went through to experience the peace I have today, I'd be okay with that. But God does not do, he doesn't like, his plan is not to hurt and destroy, right? So I think the best way to phrase it, the best way to put it in a package is he can use the terribleness that life brings. There's a devil, sometimes our own stupid choices. He can use our own stupid choices. He can turn them around to be beautiful things for him and for us. So that's the easy way to say it. Maybe not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard.
No,
but yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that could just be the way that you've personally understood it, because I think that's, with such a big, worldwide problem and question, the only thing that you can have is a personal answer. So I've done some research on you. Oh. Figuring out, a little bit about your life. And I saw that you studied theology here. How did you, I guess that was after the whole conversion experience?
Yeah. So like phase 2, I was converted. I went to Mission College of Evangelism, which is a small little Bible school out. It used to be in South Dakota, but then went to Portland, Oregon. The reason why we went to that school is because the people that knocked on our door went to that school, because that's how it works, like you only know what you know. Sure. And so, like, I didn't read the Bible ever before. Yeah. Like, I remember reading the Bible, like, the first time when I was just converted, reading out loud with people, was John 10. You know what John 10's about? The sheep. I am the good shepherd. Wow. That one's sweet. And so, like, I am being trained to, like, give Bible studies, but I've never read through the Bible. But I was so, like this is the thing, like, you don't need, what you need is just a desire and, like, a willingness. God can take care of the rest. And so I got trained how to give Bible studies, and then I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I got my first Bible study. And I'm telling you what, it could have been maybe the worst Bible study. Like, I'm sure there's people that will always say that's right, but it was pretty bad. Like, I could barely say the name Nebuchadnezzar. And this guy answered the door. He says, "Yeah, I'll study the Bible." And the beautiful thing was, after we got done with studying that Daniel 2, the image thing, you can trust the Bible, he wanted to study again. Wow. So, like, as long as you have desire and you're willing, maybe just willing, right? He can bless. And sometimes if you're willing to do hard things for him, he does amazing things to make sure those hard things come out beautiful. And so I did Bible work for 6 years. I worked in New Mexico, Portland, Oregon. I worked in Washington. Then I went to Guam. Wow. And I worked with the legend, Kenneth Cox. He passed away, but he was an evangelist. And then I went to California. I went to Australia. I went to Australia, then California. Then I went back home and finished my studies at community college. I did an associate in art. And then I went to Andrews. And I took theology at Andrews. I first took religion, and then they convinced me to do theology. And then I was like, I need some therapy. So I have a second major in art. Okay.
That's good. So after going into theology, you thought, man, this is too much. I need therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I'm wired for, like, doing and creating. And, like, I think I needed some, like, mind therapy.
Yeah. That's good.
There wasn't anything bad with the theology program. It was my mind. Yeah. My mind was the problem.
I have respect for people that don't leave their hobby and their passion for ministry, because I feel like that's what a lot of people think that they have to do. But that's not. You can do both. That's what you're made for.
So this guy, when I was a youth pastor in California, his name's Steve Hamilton, and when he was converted, he was a rock crawler. We don't know rock crawling. Are you from Michigan? Mm-mm. Where are you from?
Canada.
The Upper Peninsula. Right? I used to always call, like, Canadians, they were part of the Upper Peninsula, just to get under their skin a little bit.
Hey,
So,
whatever.
Well, back where there's mountains, but there's mountains in Canada. Yeah. Well, you got real mountains over there in Calgary land.
Yeah.
But anyways, Steve Hamilton, he like preached a sermon. His first sermon I was there. He's like, hobbies is the best way to minister. And his hobby was rock crawling. So what is rock crawling? He said it's the greatest adrenaline rush at 2 miles per hour. So you have these big Jeeps with big tires, and you go over you go up like big cliffs, and you go down like huge embankments. And he took us to the Rubicon, which is near Lake Tahoe. It's this Jeep trail, and he would take kids, youth, on these like adventures, and it's a beautiful thing because like in the mountains there is no cell phone service, and then like you have you can just talk about real things, and he has an amazing ministry where he has many people who he has mentored in ministry, and so he taught me the beauty of hobby-based ministry.
That's good.
So I at Andrews I played a little spike ball, and so there's some people playing spike ball. You know what spike ball is? And so I came because I don't want to pretend that I'm good because I don't know like the quality is. So I'm just like, hey, what is this sport? You know
Softball's good.
And then they're like, oh, you want to play? Yeah. So then I serve. They're like, oh, you've played before. But you get to connect with people, and it's just fun, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you connect on hobbies, you connect on free time.
True.
And so I love doing things like that with people because I think when you experience life together, then you can share thoughts about life more organically.
True. This is true. I agree. I'm curious though because I always love asking people when they take a leadership position instead of just being like, instead of just being a consumer and going to church, what made you decide, I can pastor, I can lead?
You know, the wild thing is, like, when I accepted the call to become a Christian, like, it was so intense that I had to drop everything and accept Jesus. I didn't know I could be a pew warmer. Like, that wasn't even in my, because my brother kind of showed me what his example. So my example to becoming a Christian was like, it's like you're all in. And so then I thought like being an evangelist, because that's kind of how we were born into the church, through evangelism. But then as I was doing Bible work, it tore me up. I would go from like city to city, meet people, and then I would have to leave them. I hate that. So when you're a pastor, you can stay, like, I love people. I love listening to their stories and like knowing them, and like I love the fact that people can trust me to talk about the real issues, and I can show them that I can still be their friend and still support them, because that's where growth happens. And sometimes in Adventism, it's hard to be vulnerable because people want to look so, quote unquote, good as a Jesus follower. But I don't think there's really any healthy, like when we tuck that away, it's not healthy. So I love trying to get people to share what's really going on. So that's why I'm a pastor, because I love people. I love sharing that there's a solution to, I think Jesus is really the solution to all our problems, and I love trying to like, figure out how can we get through this. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love doing ministry. And being a chaplain at campus, I like the challenge of working with the younger age groups, and like for example, from 13 to 19, from that car accident until becoming a Christian, I really had no mentor. And I kind of dedicated my life to be young people's mentors. So maybe they have mentors, but I'll just add to them. Yeah. Or if they don't have mentors, I want to like bring them to the next point where they can get another mentor, or maybe I'll be the mentor until they die. Like, they're stuck with me. We'll pray for them.
That's funny. Why'd you say it like that?
Because it's a podcast.
No.
That's what we have to say. Didn't you tell me to say that earlier? No, I'm just playing.
Please. Don't.
Ratings go.
No. That's really funny. Wow. That's good. Being a mentor and having that. Because you've been around young people, what would you say, from what you've noticed, is the biggest problem or pattern that you've seen in why they're leaving the church? Maybe they're...
I don't... It's hard to... It's like... There are many... Like, what's the core? What's the hub of it? That, I don't know. I think it's you know... One of the issues with our church is that we don't allow them places where they can fail, safe places where they can fail, because I think the old guard hangs on to power. That's one element, right? And so I think when you're placed into levels of responsibility, God really shows himself to be there for you and help you out. But if we never give them space to have responsibility, and like there's a chance that they could fail and make something terrible happen, but like then you've never really given them any responsibility if you've never given them a space where they can like really mess something up. And so I think that's just like one aspect of it. Like we need to like this is your church, and we need to give opportunities for them to lead in that church. I think, have you ever read the book Anxious Generation? It's a fantastic book. And this guy just goes into like what, since 2013, the advent of like wireless internet plus smartphones, and how smartphones and Instagram and every other platform, like how that changes the way our brains are wired. Like, I think there's some strong challenges with mental health, and that's another aspect that's very different than what I said at first. So we're dealing with a culture, highly techno culture, that is wiring opinions and how we think about things. I think another thing is like the vulnerability. We don't allow people to be truly vulnerable because maybe that will expose something in my life. I heard a fellow pastor friend told me, like, what college students or university students are today, the parents do camouflaged. The parents' generation probably watches the same stuff, but they just camouflage it. And so the issues of our university, like it's the same issues across the board. It's just the older generation, they can camouflage it more. And so I think that hypocrisy is pretty, like, I don't want to be part of that. Like there's just a lot of levels, and I think the only thing I can contribute to this is tell me your story. What is it that you're into? And maybe I didn't watch the movie or I didn't watch the show, but I'm very interested in the narrative. Maybe I did. But I feel like understanding the goal of whoever I'm talking to, like what is the goal of why are they doing what they do? Why do they read what they do? Why do they watch what they watch? What is the true goal that they're getting out of it? And then you look at that goal. It could be something as innocent as I just want to have a stable existence. And then you connect that desire to finding that the ultimate desire of being stable or whatever it is, you connect it to Christ. But you have to spend time to listen. Spend time in proximity.
This is true. During my research, I found that when you first started working here, when was that, 2024?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago.
Well, 24, 25, yeah, 2 years ago.
They wrote an article, And in it, you said one of the first things you said when you started working here was you want to change. What is it you said? You want to change how we view chapel. How was that? Because I know, especially here in other Adventist schools, especially in America, it's seen as chapel. Oh, it's just something required. I have to go to it.
Yeah, I am of a minority opinion.
Okay.
And I don't know, but I feel like if we call it chapel, it shouldn't be like required. Now, high school is different. I mean, but in my mind, I think, well, I would love to create. I'd love to create a gravity, and I'd love to like create a DNA that's like, this is something that makes, like, brings wholeness and completion to my life. Like, I remember like pastoring in the UP, Upper Peninsula. You know what I'm saying? Way up there. And this one lady's like, every Wednesday, I think of prayer meeting, I don't want to come. But then when she's at prayer meeting, she's like, I can't believe I do life without prayer meeting. Like, I think about this, like it energizes her to get going. I love for chapel to be that experience. Now, is that going to be hard? Yes, because there's so many diverse ways of thinking about worship and God and blah, blah, blah. But like, if we could kind of create a belonging, and I also think like, if we just got rid of the whole chapel credit, I don't think like, that's not my battlefield. Like, I'm not going to die on the hill. That's just my opinion. And maybe someone's going to watch this like, yeah, champion it, Chapel and Jacob. Yeah, do it. Fight it.
That's funny.
But if we just got rid of it for a season, and like, how many people would go to chapel? I know like there's a broad range of students on campus. There's going to be like those who are like not conservative or not Christian conservative at all in their mindset, and they wouldn't come, right? But then there's like good, like not good, I shouldn't say that, but like they have good thoughts about God, like they're connected, but they also don't like going to chapel. And then there's people who like going to chapel, and then some people are like, just have the duty bound. This is what we have to do. But if we just said, okay, for a season, everyone gets chapel credit. You don't have to come. Well, there would probably maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100 people that come, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, hopefully.
But then like, we start creating a chapel experience where people feel like, this is where I go midweek to get my batteries charged.
Yeah.
And then like, we kind of create a critical mass, and then like more and more people, like, now me giving like a video announcement about chapel won't bring anybody. Like, I don't think my influence is that great on campus. We're like, oh, Chapel and Jacob says, okay, I'll go. Yeah. I think it's word of mouth that like people in your shoes, like, that was an amazing experience. That was good. Or that was like, yeah, I'm happy I went. And then that would draw more people to come. And then if we could get like 300, 400 people who want to be at chapel, who aren't like I don't get it. Like, why are we doing chapel when the culture is you just go there and you put your headphones on and you just like do your own thing, do your homework? What are we doing? Like, we're blessing, you know, maybe the 33% that are like paying attention. I praise the Lord for that. Well, at least they're in church. Like, they're not. No. Like, I want to see chapel being meaningful, and like people that go, like, that's. But maybe that's just idealism, and we're just, you know, stuck with this blah chapel experience at Andrews University. I don't think that's right. I don't think requiring more chapels is the answer. I think like creating this pole that like God speaks to me during chapel. I understand and feel God's presence. God fills my cup. God charges my batteries, and like that would just, I think that's very doable because God is that big. But institutional, it's like a Titanic trying to move. Like, we're worried about, like, I don't know. I'm not an institutional person. I don't think institutionally. I don't care about the ladder climbing stuff. Like, I don't want to, like, I want to minister closer to the people. I don't want to climb the ladder. That means more meetings. Oh, get out of here.
Don't give them more meetings.
No, I want to be with the people.
Wow, that's good. I will say, why do you think that's the minority opinion? I guess among like the faculty people, or
Well, the faculty, they don't really come to chapel. That's probably another problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, we should have a chapel experience where like they get their batteries charged during, but it's not set up that way. And no casting shame to anyone that led before me or creates this space. This is just my opinion, and the people there know my opinion.
What is the overall objective when you say your opinion? Do they disagree with it? Do they agree with it, but they don't want to do anything about it? Or what is it?
I think one it's an honest thing. Like if you have chapel, it's more of like a faith-based experience. When do we get together to do like AUSA, speeches or whatever, and award ceremonies? In my mind, it's like you have Tuesday choices.
Yeah.
Once a month during Tuesday choices, just have a Andrews Academic Assembly, AAA. We're going to AAA, and it's required, and you have to go, and that's where you get your credit in there. That's what you do. And then chapel's chapel. So that would be my answer to that. But we do need a assembly where all the students get together. I mean, that's a proper functioning university school. Like they need to have an assembly. But let's not mix chapel with like academic assembly. But they'll say, "Oh, we're an academic institution. We need various lines of learning." That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just do it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to climb the ladder
To be able to make
to make those decisions. I'll just be the little grumpy person on the bottom.
That's really funny. Yeah, I feel like I've had many discussions about this with, the other students. I even asked some other people that I had on the podcast too, their opinions. And
Reveal them so I can argue with them.
That's funny.
Call them out right now.
Not by name, but they've said both opinions. They said, well, this one person specifically, I won't name drop.
Yeah, but I'm
sure
a guess.
if you look at the
I'm a guess. And I'm gonna put the quotes on the no.
Anyway, but she was saying how.
What's a she? No, I'm sorry. I won't do this anymore. It's just fun.
So they were saying, like you said, it's either, they might be grumpy about it, but then they go and then they're blessed or whatever, which is like yes and no. But also, I've also talked to other people where in Australia, actually, they used to have at their universities and high schools, it used to be required, but they've changed it. And now it's not required at all. And now they see more people, more passion. And I'm like, that's what it's supposed to be. I'm telling you.
Like, it's a step of faith. And it'll be a season of drought. Because you have to create gravity. Yeah. And you have to create longing. You have to create, you have to, start investing.
Yeah. Good
program. We're very program-based in Andrews, right? Like, it has to be the perfect music, and I don't think that's authentic spirituality. But what I mean by we do need to elevate the quality, so we can disperse spirituality in a beautiful way, right? And so I don't know if it's like music is such an issue on campus, but it's just it's okay to do contemporary, like 2010 contemporary. It's okay to do 2020 contemporary. It's good to do 1970 contemporary, which is not contemporary anymore. But for the hymn people, that's contemporary still. It's okay to do a hymn. Just enjoy the moment. And I think having that mindset, enjoying the moment, enjoying someone else's expression of their joy should give you joy. But we some people worship holding on to 50-pound suitcases. When they stand up, they're just stiff as a board. It's loosen up. And I'm not musically motivated, but I can enjoy but I do have a pet peeve. When worship is so loud, that's not enjoyable anymore. I don't know if you experienced that.
Does it matter the type of loud or
no,
just
if it's loud organ loud, drum loud,
Doesn't matter.
vocal loud. It don't matter. It just
Loud.
don't make it so like it's just too loud. And I think that would calm a lot of issues down because what do I know? I'm an artist. I don't play music.
Well, I mean, you still attend. I think.
Yeah, it's true. I do. Yeah.
That's
And
funny.
so, but what I'm saying is like I don't like
Yeah.
that's the only sensitivity thing I have about music is the loudness.
That's fair. I think that's okay to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have gray hair. That's why I'm there now.
Your ears are just sensitive.
That's right. Well, actually, the older you get, the less sensitive they are.
Oh, that's true.
What did you say? I can't hear you.
That's funny. So I guess your goal for Chapel is to make it more just.
I would say I'd want to make an authentic space where people want to be there because they're being filled.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's always optional, but it's never an option because you have to be there. Not because you're gonna get penalized, some sort of like fine or whatever. It's just like you don't want to like miss out on an opportunity to be recharged.
Yeah.
That's what I'd long for.
That's good.
And I think it could be give me a chapel space where I could do my own chapel with like 40 people, and let's see if give me an experiment and see if we can grow that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like what all the people that want to do their like big show over there, give me Buller Hall, and let's see if it grows.
Yeah.
That's what I would want.
Yeah. I will say, if anything, if it still has to be a form of it being required, still make it a choice of there being other options for the same credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they make it not like a chapel credit, if they make it like a regular co-curricular, like all the other programs, they can choose still whether they want to attend it or not.
Let's do it. Make it happen.
Hey, someone's got
That's right. Reimagine it.
Rem-
You know what I'm saying? I had to look up there to make sure I got the right word, but
if it wasn't some other word.
yeah. I was like, okay, I got it.
It's good that you brought that up because I have one more question.
Okay.
That's something that you said when you first started working here. What is something, would you say the same thing now, or is there something else that you wish could change?
Okay. So something that I would long to do, and I'm going to try to do it the last Sabbath of the month, is create a Sabbath school experience for visual creatives where we express. It doesn't need to be visual arts. It could be poetry or whatever, or creating lyrics. Where we, this has been a dream since I've come here. Like it's been developed. I want to create a worship experience that's for creatives.
Okay.
And they always say like, "Oh, do it during like a Vespers." No, I want to do it at Sabbath school, where we can like. I want to try it once, and then I want to see if it needs to be tweaked or whatever. I'd like to do it next semester. I'd like to maybe do it like a monthly experience where like someone like I want to get someone who like reads scripture with like a radio voice, who just like reads a passage, pauses or whatever, and then reads some more. And then as we're reading the passages or hearing, I'm drawing. I'm doodling. I'm illustrating. Someone else is doing. Someone else is like taking the words and making a creative, like, piece of English work. You know, someone's making a song. Someone's like, I don't know if they're sculptor or whatever. But just having this place where then at the end of Sabbath school we share what we made. And I'm telling you what, they're going to get a lot more. It might be messy. It may not be like perfectly kosher for Sabbath school, but what's the purpose of Sabbath school? The purpose of Sabbath school is the word processed, internalized. And if I ever had time to research a book, it would be understanding the learning love languages and how to apply that to spirituality. Like understanding your learning love language and then apply that to devotions. For me, it's visual, but other people have like logic. That's or like more like kinetic, like hands-on. Like how can we make the Bible come alive in how my brain works.
It's beautiful.
That's what I want.
That's good. Yeah, because I feel like learning the Bible has just been like a one size, oh, you just read it and then you understand it, but it's not.
Yeah.
So what is a way that you can find out your learning love language?
That's the thing. I need to research more.
Yeah.
So there's the learning styles, right? There's like hearing or auditory, there's visual, there's like mathematical logic based, there's kinetic, there's like more social, more introverted, like there's different learning styles, but doing a little bit more study of how that style can be approached to spirituality and Bible reading. That's what I mean. If I had more time, because like if I woke up and just landed myself in another profession where I didn't have to do any school, it just happened, I'd like to study the brain and behavior and people. And there's some fabulous, like it's Jonah Berger or Jonah Berger, I don't know how, but he's like a business guy. When he studies about how ideas catch on, he studies people. Fabulous studies.
Okay.
Like he had this one study, beautiful. He was promoting a book called Invisible Influences. I forget. But it was like a little video thing that he did, and everyone went to this doctor's office or free eye exam, but everybody in the waiting room was actors. One person was not actor, like had no idea. And then a little bit later, beep, and everyone stood up. And then the non-actor, it's like, okay, everyone said, she stood up. So then after every 30 seconds or every minute or 4 minutes or whatever, beep, stand up. And then the actors got called in one by one, and then she was alone, and it beeped. Guess what she did? She stood up. And then another non-actor, what do you call it?
Just a person, I guess.
Yeah, just a person. It comes in, and so it beeps. Guess what she did? She stood up. And the guy's like, what are you doing? Oh, that's what we do here. So they stood up. And then it fills in with like 10, 12 people.
Wow.
And then they all stand up.
Dang.
And then he studies why people behave that way. So at Chapel, we should have a beep, beep, and everyone stands up.
What's the purpose of that, I guess?
It doesn't need that purpose. It's just
something you do.
Just awkward. That's the thing. Like, the reason why I love working with young people is I'm okay to exist in the awkward space. Because the generation gap, like, I'm okay if I don't know everything about young people. But I'll just it's okay to ask questions. When someone says a word that I don't know, what's that word? Someone called me unk. And I was like, I didn't have the guts to ask them, so I Googled it.
You Googled it?
I did.
It didn't make sense to you, like as a...
But I didn't know if it was positive or negative. I got the idea it was uncle.
Yeah.
But I was assured that it could be either positive or negative. It depends on the context and how it was used. And so I was like, they love me.
Calling you an unk.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, if they have the comfortability to be able to call you an unk, that's a...
But it could be a diss too.
Yes.
But typically that would probably be like behind closed doors that they talk about me.
Well...
It depends on the person.
Hey,
That's how my brain works. I'm just going to take it as a term of endearment.
That's good.
The Andrew's
That's
unk.
Good. Andrew's unk.
Yeah, that's Prescott.
I'll make sure to include that.
Yeah, that's for you, Prescott.
I'll say.
we're gonna get the soundbite going right to your inbox.
That's really funny. Wow, that's good. I do have one more question. As your final, something you want to leave with the people. I know you've read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Is there one or two books that you would recommend everybody should read?
Well, 2 books. Well, 3 books.
Okay.
Oh man, his name is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Swoboda. I think it's A.J. Swoboda.
Okay.
He wrote a book called After Doubt. And it's the journey of, he says there's a lot of books that talk about like when you have doubts and then you become a Christian, right? You're secular, become Christian. A lot of books follow that journey. But what he does is the theological journey he follows is like you are a Christian and then you kind of like have an experience where you kind of like deconstruct your whole belief system. And then he brings you through that process in a healthy way to reconstruct it in a beautiful way. And so I'm just halfway through that book. It's fabulous. So I can't recommend it. I can recommend the first half of the book, but it's a good book. He also wrote the book Slow Theology and how God often can work fast. Like he could have created this world in a moment, but he chose to do 7 days. Wow. That's forever long if you can do something in a moment, right? So oftentimes he works with us at a slow pace. And in a fast-paced culture, sometimes we don't get it. But it is rewarding to realize it's okay to be slow with God. That my third book that I just finished, it's The Gospel After Christendom. It's an introduction to cultural apologetics. You may have heard about apologetics. It's like how truthful is the Bible, the resurrection claims, creation, that kind of stuff. And that hits the head. Cultural apologetics hits the heart. It's how you connect with people who aren't Christian. So one of the statements in the book was, and this is why head answers, head like facts, don't really make a point, because like someone can know about vaping, all the bad stuff, and they still vape. The facts don't matter. Because what the book says is, what the heart desires, the head will rationalize. And so if you long to continue going the way you're going, it doesn't matter the facts against it. Whether it's like health reasons or social reasons or like relational reasons. Like if you long to be with this boy, but he's dangerous, whatever reason, I don't know what the reason is, but like if you're like, your head will just pretend to make him a prince. And so like reaching the heart and understanding and listening, it's a slow process, because you can't just get to know the heart right away. The fast process is like, here are the facts, but facts don't change people. It's the relationship that nests the facts that truly transforms somebody. Wow. So that's a good one. That's like not one author. It's like edited by some guy, but it was like the Christianity Today Book of the Year or whatever last year or whatever.
Dang, that's good.
But I want to do a like how to deal with doubt, cultural apologetic course next year.
What would that course look like?
It's like a short course, like Tuesday choices.
Oh, good, yes.
And so I did last year on devotions. Or this year on devotions, this school year. It was good. We had a lot of people there. But some of the students I talked to, like, they struggle with doubt. And I want to kind of like, I don't want to just answer like the factual questions, because that's not going to really, like, I want to do more research. So that's why I'm reading these books. Are you going to be here next year?
I'll be around, if that counts. Not as a student.
Are you graduating? So you can come. No.
Yeah, hey, I would. That's a big passion of mine.
And then when I get done with it, I can come back on your show.
Yes.
And be like, this is what it's about.
Yes.
This is
how it went.
This is what it's all about.
That's good.
And
I love that.
Depending on how this rating goes, you may not want me back.
That's not true. I don't. That's not what drives what
I don't know anything about it.
I would love that. I think there needs to be more conversation about what people doubt and because a lot of people just bury it and then don't care enough to find the answers, and they don't know where to go for the answers, and so they just never find them, and then they give up and walk away.
Yeah. That reminds me, one aspect of my life that I didn't talk about, and opening this can will make you want to ask questions. 3 years ago, my wife got brain cancer while pregnant.
Wow.
And going through that journey on on the spouse side of it, when you go through trials and suffering, and you tragedy, how does it go? You always are changed through tragedy. You never remain the same. And that's probably in general, but when it comes to faith, you either will lose your faith or your faith will grow stronger during tragedy.
True.
Depending on the preparation before the tragedy, will probably determine which direction you go. And so what I've realized is I want to prepare students who may or may not have had an easy journey to this point, but I want to prepare them to have a strong foundation with God. Tragedy will come. It would be very unlikely to go through life without tragedy. Yeah. But when tragedy comes, it's going to test their faith. They'll either throw it away or they'll embrace a version of God that they've never seen before. But when you sense God walking with you through pain and suffering, and he walks with you, you'll never want to leave him. That's what I've experienced.
But it's kind of hard to prepare for something that you think would never happen to you.
Well, you don't prepare for the tragedy. So how you prepare for tragedy in the journey of faith is having a strong relationship with God.
True.
That's what I meant by that. Okay. So thank you for clarifying. So if my relationship with God is shaky or non-existent, it's just superficial, when the hard questions come, why God is my wife, and then you're like, well, what if she dies? I have to take care of one child or two because she was pregnant with a second. Like, those questions are boat-breaking questions if you don't have the resources. The resources is a relationship with God. That doesn't break the boat.
True.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not just the facts about God, it's that relationship.
Yeah. We covered a lot of bases.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. To clarify, is your wife okay now? Is she? She's
we had an MRI last week.
Okay.
We have them every 4 months now.
Wow.
The first 2 years was every 3 months. Now it's every 4 months for 2 years. And it came back negative. A negative MRI is good because they didn't see anything bad.
Wow.
I think that's how it works. If a positive MRI means you found the cancer. A negative is you didn't. At least that's how I'm working it right now.
Yeah.
So if there's a medical person, they can correct me. I'm cool. Correct me.
Okay, good. Good, I'm glad.
And so, our baby, who's now 3, she's turning 3, April 12.
Wow.
And she's great.
It's beautiful.
I have 2 daughters, and they're just so fun.
It's good. Good. I'm glad. I want to meet them. I haven't seen them running around. I've seen Prescott's kid run around.
Yeah. We'll bring them by. We'll bring them by.
That's good. That's awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your story and your vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Till next time. Till that update episode.
That's right. 2028. October.
What is that date?
I don't know.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked this episode and you want to support this podcast, please like the video, subscribe so you can hear more stories just like this one, and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.